What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Janic Journal. Today we're doing a Regal video on the car. Mostly doing the mini bike stuff lately, but we're going to switch it up a little bit here on you. So what I got is some parts I ordered from Summit and some stuff I got at AutoZone. What we got here is some new valve cover gaskets. Those ones are leaking. They're the cork ones. They're leaking, and once they leak, you pretty much can't get them to stop leaking. A little hose for a PCV valve, because right now it's just capped off, so it's building up a little bit of pressure, which isn't helping the leaking valve cover gaskets. Wicks filter, I've run Fram, had bad luck with it, and we're having an issue with it now, which I'm hoping is just a bad filter, where it runs lower pressure than normal, lower oil pressure, and higher temperature. I'm not going to do a full oil change, but I'm going to take the filter off and I'm going to lose some oil, so I got some more to put in. And they actually had this at AutoZone. I was surprised. 2050 weight and high zinc, because this is a flat tappet motor, a solid lifter, so you got to run the high zinc. First step is we're taking the valve covers off. I'm going to take both of them off. We need that to do the valve lash, or at least we're going to check the valve lash, and obviously to change the gaskets. Just 4 little 7/16 nuts each one. You can see the misted oil on there. Promo for Larry's Auto Machine. You can see the misted oil, and that's just what it was I didn't have a PCV set up on it, and it just misted some oil out. You know, it wasn't leaking a lot. It was just misting out of the out of both of these, this rubber bung here and then this vent here, and then it might have been dribbling out. I think it was dribbling out of the gaskets too. So that was the problem, and that's what we're going to take care of. Alright, just checking the valve lash on the exhaust of cylinder 1, and we got 20 thousandths clearance. That's within spec of what our cam sheet was telling us. This motor is cold, by the way, right now. We didn't run it because of the oil pressure issue we were having. The intake's 18 thousandths, which is consistent with what the sheet was saying. What we're going to have to do is check it through all 8 cylinders. This is just number 1. So you can either bump it with a starter to turn it to take the pressure off, because right now this intake valve has pressure on it. It's under lift right now. We'll check all of them, make sure they're all within that spec, and then after we take it out and warm it up, whenever we get it running, you know, we'll pop the valve cover off and we'll check the hot spec too to make sure it's good. And as long as they're all consistent, we'll just check the hot spec on cylinder 1, and we should be good to go with that. Alright, we're just peeling this old cork one off. It looks like it's coming off pretty good. I mean, this motor is only, how old is this, Joey? Joey's on the camera right now, by the way.
2 years?
Something like that. So the motor's got, I mean, it probably doesn't even have 500 miles, but I don't think I had these torqued down to begin with. But yeah, so we're, you know, I showed you the spec we have on the lifters, I mean on the rocker arms here. And what you're going to need to do is check that per your cam. You know, ours said ours gave us our specs, but every cam is different, and you know, you got to check it for yourself. All right, so I'm just wiping the surface off here that mates to where the new gasket's going to go. This is a brand new rag. Well, it's a rag, but right, it doesn't have any metal contaminants or anything in it. You can use like an alcohol if you want to, because what you want to do is get the oil off, because you know it's not really going to create a good seal if you already have oil there. So just wiping it down real good. You know, you don't want to be spraying stuff and getting it in your oil and in your valve train. So, but you can damp this with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. It might help cut through the grease a little bit. On the bench we have the valve covers taken off. I wiped them down. It was a good chance to clean them up a lot easier than on the motor. I took this, which we were just using as like a plug to, well, that's what it came with, but we were using this basically to fill the oil when we did changes and stuff like that, and I swapped it out with basically the same thing, only this one has a 3/4 hole in it, and what that'll do is that'll receive this PCV, which is actually AC Delco, so we're doing it real. And then just bought this hose. This was cheap. It was I think like $6, And looking, I mocked it up. It looks like this is going to line up perfect to a barb fitting that I have on the intake manifold. But I'm going to have to switch around the brake, the vacuum advance for the distributor, and the brake booster. I'm just going to switch them all around a little bit, but it looks like I got somewhere this will line up perfect.
Alright, so we got our 3 takeoffs here. This is off the intake manifold, and that's right now is being used for the brake booster. This orange one is off of the riser. It's a 3/4 riser between the intake and the carb, and that's being used for vacuum advance. And right here, this little guy is just off the carb, and unfortunately that's too far to use for the PCV. So I think what I'm going to do is take the brake booster and move that up there, and then I will use this fitting here for the PCV because it's a little bit closer to the passenger side of the vehicle. Okay, here goes the PCV. I'm going to try not to call it a PCV valve because I know why. VIN number. And so there's the PCV. Here's the brake loose booster vacuum line, and that's going to go up on the carb now. This is the tight fit, and this is the tough one. But put that on there. I want to get it on at least. That's all the way, I guess. Put that on there, and all 3 are good. I didn't have to move the vacuum advance because that didn't really help me out that much. Okay. All right, both surfaces are cleaned up. The surface on the head as well as the inside of the valve covers. These are pretty nice. These are Felpros, which is, from what I hear, is like the best brand in gaskets. And it was like $52 for both of them, so they better be pretty good. But yeah, you want to clean them up, keep them dry, keep everything dry, and then go ahead and put it together. Let's see how many times I can clank this on the rocker arms. 7, 8, 9. Okay. That looks pretty good, and you can see this, check out the PCV setup. Lines up pretty good. I wouldn't mind it being a little bit longer, but that's going to be good. That'll do. Alright, so that's going to wrap up what we're doing on the top of the engine here. And next is we're going to go underneath and take that filter off and see what we got going on down there. Alright, underneath the Regal now, and you can see it's not nearly as bad under here as it looks up top. I repainted the frame last year. New urethane bushings, sway bars. It's like an inch and a... What is that, Joey? Like inch and 5/8, inch and a half, inch and a quarter, yeah. So yeah, it's got aftermarket sway bars.
Beltec suspension.
Yeah, Beltec springs and shocks, 2-inch drop, Hotchkiss, just those, just the tie rod and connectors. That's the only Hotchkiss on here. That's all I could afford, but at least it has some. Yeah. So what else we got? Yeah, all new body bushings as well. Let's see if I can get a body bushing. Alright, and now we're back towards the back of the engine. Here's the oil filter we're going to change. That's a Bosch, I believe. We got Hooker comp headers. Sorry about that. I got the McDonald's French fry warmer spotlight going on back here. But yeah, you can see the floor pans and everything. Really good shape. This was I'm the second owner of this car. The lady was something like 70-something years old. And yeah, she bought it brand new back in 1985. So, and then I pretty much destroyed it. So we got we got it loosened up with some channel locks, so it's all destroyed and marred. This is gonna be cold oil. Let's see how much we even get. Actually, we're not. There it goes. Oh, got it. That looks pretty dark, huh?
Yeah.
But you know, I looked at the color, and we'll see when we add it. The color of the new oil looked like black already. So, but yeah, this is a little Bosch. And you know what I noticed was that that Wix is much bigger than this Bosch.
Yes, it is.
Here's a quick size comparison. That's almost twice the volume. So, it's going to be better. I mean, even this short one, I think even the short one, you still can't take the headers off without taking the oil filter off. So, we're not gaining or losing any interference. It's still going to be the same. so we're all set under the car. The new filter's back on, or is on rather, and about to lower the car down. Some of you may have seen our Ranger video from what, a few months ago?
Something like that.
Yeah, when we lowered that, and we're going to try not to replicate that. So I'll just go ahead and let it down nice and slow here. And so yeah, it's another done job of the Jan Journal. Look at the hydraulic stance.
There you go. Low rider.
Regal hydraulic stance. See the wire wheels. So just check the oil. It's down a little bit. It's about halfway down. So I mean, you could run it, but I'm not gonna. So we're gonna go ahead and put some of the VR1 racing oil in. I don't know if any of you guys watch Engine Masters or any of the Freiburger stuff, but oh yeah.
There it goes.
Okay, that's it. That's probably about enough oil, anyways. That's why I backed off, because that was plenty. That's how much I wanted. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna replace the breather on here, and yeah, just so some of you guys know what this engine is and what this car's about. It's a 383 stroker Chevy, obviously. Just iron heads, old fuelie heads, old Corvette, the fuel injected heads. Other than that, really no trick parts in it. Not a high compression ratio or anything. Runs fine on just 93 octane. Holley 4-barrel, double pumper, you know, just basic old tried and true hot rod type stuff. Turbo 350 transmission with it's a TCI with a full manual valve body. So you got to shift it each time, which we're going to go over in our next video when we have this car out and we're spinning it around a little bit more. 8.5-inch rear out of a turbo Buick Regal, like the Grand Nationals. You know, they came with an 8.5. These only came with a 7.5, which are basically useless. So 8.5 posi rear, and that's pretty much it for the drivetrain. I needed to have a drive shaft made up for that because they're shorter for the 8.5-inch rear. But 430 horse, 460 pound-feet of torque was what it was dynoed at. Larry's Auto Machine in Groton, Connecticut built the engine. I had nothing to do with the building of the engine, but you know, maybe down the road I'll start messing with some car engines. But for now, I just as soon leave it to someone else.
Action.
Alright, so we're just letting it warm up now before we take it out. Just keep an eye on the gauges. It's still cold. I'm going to let the cooling get up to 140. And then the oil pressure is good, but it's cold, so it's always good when it's cold. So we'll just let it warm up for a few minutes. You want to check out the gauges? Okay, so we made it to the gas station. We're about 10 minutes away. Been cruising for about 15 minutes, just going around a little bit of a circle. And everything seems to be running good. The oil pressure is right where it should be. At idle at 750 RPM, it's hanging around 15 pounds, and the temperature is right at 160, which it should be. It's about almost 70 degrees out today. So just checking the oil levels, you know, because I took the filter off, so making sure we got the right level. It's a little bit low, so I'm going to put the rest of this, I got about half a quart here, just going to put that in and we should be good to go.
Action.
Alright, so we're just cruising it down the road. Gauges are looking good, temperature's good, oil pressure's good, so it's definitely going to be up to temp, full temp by now. So I'm going to go ahead and call it fixed, and this has happened twice before, once with the Fram filter and once with the Bosch filter. So hopefully these wicks are going to cure it. I bought 2 extra ones, so we got 3 of them.
Alright, the Regal's all set, so we'll definitely catch you guys next time on the Jantic Journal. And stick around, more mini bike videos to come.